Are Alpine f***ed? Have Alpine seen their best days? Why is there all this controversy surrounding them? And why have they lost not one, but two of their drivers? Let's break it down. Before we crack on, YouTube tells me that over 80% of you who watch my videos aren't subscribed. So if you do enjoy, even a little bit, consider subscribing. Let's get into it. We know Alpine lost Fernando Alonso after he announced his move to Aston Martin in what felt like immediately after Sebastian Vettel announced his retirement at the end of the season. Insiders have revealed Alonso wanted 2 years at the French outfit, but only got one. Is that a good call? Did you know Otmar Safnauer, team principal of Alpine, after assuming Fernando Alonso would stay, found out he was losing his star driver via social media? Damn. Alpine just lost what feels like everything. It's a real kick between the legs to find out your star driver is leaving via social media. But I guess that's kinda what you get for treating a star driver like a second driver. Otmar hasn't even had any closure after admitting he repeatedly called Fernando's phone to no answer, also saying the signal is fine in a video. In a case of Oscar being an absolute savage, it's now known that Alpine took it to the press to say Oscar Piastri will be driving for them in 2023, after once again assuming he would join the team before signing any paperwork or contracts. So, as any 21st century athlete would, he took to Twitter, clearly stating that he will quote-unquote not be driving for Alpine next year. Michael Schumacher only took one race before he was in court, and now it looks like Oscar has broken that record, having 0 F1 races under his belt. Well played. But my word, this is a giant call for someone who is an Alpine reserve driver, and someone who was once annoyed he didn't have a confirmed F1 seat for this season and still doesn't have a contract with an F1 team. Or does he? It was clear that Aussie was upset he was not immediately named an Alpine driver following Fernando's announcement, yet Alpine claimed they have tried to reach out to manager Mark Webber since Alonso's announcement. To me, it looks like the Aussie manager being upside down made telecommunications hard. Do you think that's it? Now there are even more rumours speculating that Oscar has not only been in talks with McLaren and Andreas Seidel, but pre-agreements have been signed. What's a part of those pre-agreements? I have no idea. Don't forget, Daniel Ricciardo is still contracted to McLaren until the end of the 2023 season, which you can hear more about here. So why would Oscar poach the seat of another Aussie? I don't know the answer to that question, but for those who don't know, Andreas Seidel was Mark Webber's own boss during his time at the World Endurance Championship, and Oscar tweeting with confidence that he will not be driving for Alpine next season only tells me that Mark Webber is more than confident that he's got the job done. But what about Daniel Ricciardo? After all this, he is still contractually obligated to race for McLaren next year. At the end of the day, his future is up to him, unless McLaren pay him out. Speaking in Australian dollars, in order to get Oscar to drive for them next season, McLaren will have to pay out Ricciardo's contract of $20 million. If Ricciardo accepts this, which he won't, a sum that small, it's fair game. If he doesn't, I'd imagine if McLaren really want this lineup, which looks deadly by the way, Zach Brown will have to offer Daniel a sum he can't turn down, then sign Piastri for a sum of what I'd assume to be maybe $1.5 million. That's a lot of money for a team who said the salary cap has been tough, and that's a lot of money for a man who has never raced in Formula 1 before. Is this clever? I've said no in the past. However, we know Zach Brown is a businessman. If he sees this as the best pathway for McLaren to follow, he will do it, no question. Don't forget, Formula 1 is cutthroat. If someone wants something done, it will more than likely happen and they will stop at nothing. If Oscar takes a seat at McLaren next season, Ricciardo is framed perfectly to return to the Renault-powered Alpine. But I can't get this image of Mick Schumacher in blue and pink out of my head. Is this why Oscar and Mark are so confident he won't be racing for Alpine next year? Or is it just a dumb theory? It's only been a week into the depression which is summer break, but this has been the craziest summer break / silly season I've ever seen. Alpine could have avoided all of this embarrassment and the consequences for the next 9 races by choosing either Alonso or Piastri as their driver for 2023 and signing a proper contract. They now appear embarrassingly amateurish, while Safnauer's ex-boss Lawrence Stroll at Aston Martin will just be chuckling in his armchair, which is what I hope you're doing right now. If you found this video entertaining, don't forget to subscribe.